We got the pleasure of sitting here with General Manager for Oklahoma, Jim Nagy, the former Executive Director of the Senior Bowl. Jim, how is your first, I guess, SEC Media Days? Is this your first one?
It's my eighth one.
Eighth one.
Yeah, so I did this every year at the Senior Bowl, but I did it for 4 straight days, so this one's better. Flying in and out in a day is way better than what it was before. But no, yeah, this is so, I mean, that's the cool part. I'm just seeing a lot of familiar faces and been doing this for a long time. So no, it's been cool. I've
good.
Enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been fun.
That's good. So I got to ask first, the tailor, can you share? The jacket is amazing. You've always got on a great jacket. Can you share some of the secrets?
I actually got this. I didn't own anything red, man. So I'm thinking about like the fall, like what I'm wearing to games, and I had nothing red. And I just got back from a family vacation in Italy. My son's studying over there right now, so I picked that up in Italy. Yeah.
Oh, nice! It's beautiful.
Thanks,
I'm about to go to Italy myself and try to find one of these days.
Appreciate it,
So let's talk a little football.
Yeah.
The clip that's been going viral about you and the conversation you had on the triple option, it's funny seeing people's reaction, but at the same time, your reaction in the comments. I've noticed that you have jumped on social media and you've been pretty busy. Talk to me about that. Is that a mechanism that you are leveraging for recruiting purposes and all that, or are you just trying to make sure you got a pulse on what's going on in the world?
I'm just used to doing it. I think it can help in recruiting. I think a lot of GMs do it. You look at the GM at Alabama. That dude posts more gifts than anybody.
Courtney Morgan does. It's true.
Yeah, no, Courtney's a friend of mine. He does a great job. Yeah, so I just think I have fun with it sometimes. Again, I don't really understand how my comment was misconstrued. I don't see. I didn't say we weren't recruiting 5 stars. That's not what I said. I said if we see a 5-star and a 3-star the same, we're going to go after the 3-star because he's going to be cheaper, and how is that a bad thing? I don't get it.
No, and you're 100% right, because here in the context of the conversation, I mean, you were really all talking about value. And now that we're in I guess you can't say salary cap, it's more of a revenue cap when it comes to the players. It's basically the same thing, right? But I guess terminology.
Cap's a cap.
Cap's a cap, that's true. Yeah. And so you're going to have levels when it comes to your players. And so with your big board, I don't want any of the trade secrets. We don't want the secret sauce, but I know you mentioned about color coding. How has that been working with your coaching staff as you've been presenting players with them with those color codes?
Yeah, they're just getting into the grade scale stuff. So we're going to meet next Tuesday and really get this thing integrated. I'm excited about that part of it because, again, like with the recruiting thing, I mean, I got there in the middle of March. Mm-hmm. And so on the OVs, there was a couple of players we got on late. And they, the question was, why did you guys get us on so late? I'm like, you got to understand, like, I got there in March. That's not like midstream in the 2026. That's downstream, man.
It is.
Like, we were downstream. Like, I didn't have a lot of time to get going on that 2026 class. So, no, it's happened fast. It's happened fast. And again, I think what I'm learning is that some fans would rather win the off season than win in the fall, and we're worried about winning in the fall. So, again, like, are we recruiting a certain level of player? I mean, we got Bo Bentley, right? Again, if you're one to pay attention to that stuff, he is the 4th rated quarterback in the country and on 3. So again, people like I've seen some of the comments, and like all I can do is just chuckle, I guess, because again, we believe in what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think what the recruiting gets a lot of the spotlight, but I think what the fans don't pay a lot of attention to is player retention, man. I think that's a big part of it. We've got a lot of players right now that are good players on this OU roster that have years left. And the worst thing that can happen is we lose players because we're paying too much on high school players. So there's a balance. So, again, some of these schools that, are going out there and have, 30-some dudes in a class and, all these how are you paying all those guys, man? Because I know what the pay scale is. Like, fans aren't fortunate enough to be privy to what's being spent on some of these guys. I'm curious to see how some of these schools make that work.
No, that makes sense.
But our job is to build a roster, and again, the guys I care most about are the guys in that locker room right now. So if they perform at a high level, we want to take care of them.
Yep. Right after listening to you on Triple Option, I had put out like a little reel on that, and I said retention is just as critical as acquisition, because you bring in, let's say, a 3-star player, maybe a 2-star, and they shine. they're going to want to be compensated for their ability to perform, and you're going to want to keep them because they know the system, they're a part of it. So that 100% makes sense. But let's pivot that into the transfer portal. Now, we know there's a second mechanism to build a roster. Granted, most want to use it as a supplement more than like the foundation of your team.
Sure.
How are you guys looking at the portal? I guess let me say it this way. With your experience of looking at players to get them into the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, college guys.
Yeah, how much college guys.
Yeah.
But now you're looking at guys in high school who may not have blossomed yet. How has that your mind frame changed in recruiting those kids in comparison to when you're looking in the portal?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like how what the exact question is. I know what you're getting at. Mm-hmm. I'll say this, like I'm not going to put a number on like what we're like ratio of portal to high school. I think it's certainly in terms of building a culture, it's much easier when you get kids out of high school. No doubt. True. There's no doubt about it. And every year is going to be different. I think this year's portal is going to be wild. Because I mean, you've got schools that have spent double what the projected cap is going to be on their rosters, and now you got to slash half your salaries.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable conversations this offseason where players are going to get called in and said, okay, we're taking your number from this to that. Nobody likes to get their pay cut, right? You don't like to get your pay cut.
Absolutely
I
not.
don't like to get my pay cut. So there's going to be a lot of emotional kids and families. And I think the emotional thing to do will be to jump in the portal.
That is true.
I think the portal is going to be absolutely loaded. And the great thing is we've got a staff that's going to be prepared for it. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but again, there's a lot of things at play, man. This isn't just like scout high school players and hand them scholarships.
Yeah.
Like we are so far from that right now. Like like you talk about mechanisms to build a football team, player retention, portal. I mean, there's a lot going on outside of just like high school recruiting, but high school recruiting is a huge part of it, man.
Yeah.
And our coaches do a great job. Again, I can't get into like specific names, but you know who we got on late. Our coaches did a great job.
Yeah.
And you can't build relationships that quick. When you get on guys in April and May and they commit to you in June, like that doesn't happen very often.
That is very true. That is very true.
Especially guys that are like 4-star players. So no, they did a great job. But no, I'm excited to like get where we're going to be a year from now in terms of like the relationships. There was kids walking in my office on the OVs that I'd never met before. Like that will not happen again.
Yeah.
They'll be on campus in the fall for games. We're going to have different events through the year to get them on campus. And then, so by the time they're there to the OV, they'll know me, they'll know Lake Dawson, they'll know Taylor Red, they'll know all the coaches. So it's just going to be in such different place than it was this year.
I love that. Well, let me tweak that question then. You're looking at body composition and NFL traits or traits of players. High school is so much different than a college kid because high school kids still haven't blossomed yet. How have you all tinkered your thinking when it comes to looking at the high school kids and how you try to evaluate where they could potentially be?
Yeah, I mean, you're still looking at comparatively like high school to high school. I mean, long is long.
That's true.
We never measured players at Oklahoma before we got there. We're measuring players now. We never tested at camps before. We're testing guys at camp. Like that stuff wasn't happening. And that stuff's important in my opinion.
Agreed.
And I give Coach Venables a lot of credit. That's something they didn't do at Clemson. So we weren't doing it at Oklahoma, and I believe strongly in measurable stuff, and it's a really good starting point, especially for high school guys when the level of competition certainly isn't the same. You're watching a 1A kid in the state of Kansas or a 7A kid in the state of Texas. That's two different levels.
True.
So you got to lean into the measurable stuff. You got to lean into the instincts. You got to lean into the play style. Because who they're playing against is completely different.
Yeah.
So that stuff matters. So that stuff really matters.
Okay. One last question. Actually, I got two questions. One, there's been a lot of people curious or concerned possibly about Oklahoma recruiting. I am one of the most proponent people of the OK
Why
Prep
would
agenda.
That be? You fill me in because I'm not paying attention. Why are they concerned?
Well, the fear is that Oklahoma kids themselves, the home kids, are the ones going to get potentially lost out on the potential NFL trade or the recruitment piece. I don't believe that.
Why would that be the case?
Actually, it's a very good question. It's mainly, I guess, because so far we don't have any kids committed from the state of Oklahoma in this class. Now, truth be told, I don't have a concern in that because I know that you all are going to go after Oklahoma kids, especially as you build those relationships. That's not my worry. But we've seen a couple of whiffs on the recruiting trail where fans have been losing their minds. How do you put them at ease to let them know we're going to get the best players, especially if they're in the state?
Are they whiffs?
Fair question. That is a very fair question. Based upon your evaluation, most likely they're not. I can't even argue against that. So you're right. That is a very fair statement. I guess for a lot of the kids.
I'll answer your question. Oklahoma, we're always going to want to take care of our backyard.
Yes.
I think every program in the country would say that.
And I think that's probably
I grew
the
up
way.
in Michigan, and Michigan State said it, and Michigan said it, and you want to take care of your backyard. You want to get your best players. But again, we're playing in the SEC. It's the best level of college football. So we got to get players that we feel like can compete and not just play in the SEC, but win championships in the SEC. Yeah. So that's the expectation. That's the level.
I love that. Have you moved back? Have you moved to Oklahoma yet? Have you got everything all settled and comfortable yet? Or are you still unpacking?
I finally got my family out. It took 4 months, but they're finally there. Yeah, we drove out. We got back from break and drove out on Sunday. And so I got my family with me, got my dog with me. So it's going to feel a lot more real now. Yeah.
I bet it.
I'm not waking up in an empty house by myself. And so, yeah, I'm excited to get everyone out there. And, again, get everyone back from break and get into these meetings with the scouting staff and the coaching staff. And we got a new database and the new grade scale and get everyone on the same page. So it's going to be fun, man. Like, we're just getting started. It's going to be fun.
Jim Nagy, General Manager of the Oklahoma Sooners, thank you for giving us some of your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.